hopefully you've been working on some stuff. I want to talk about stuff, especially the project here for a couple minutes. And then I will give you a minute to review your speaking before we do that. And then I'm just going to throw everybody in a breakout room and I'll kind of come to you and we'll see what we can get done today. So first of all, let's talk about this project. I want to talk about it. Some of you have turned it in and I've given you a lot of feedback and said, if you didn't do great, then you can totally fix it and return it in. And then some of you haven't turned it in yet. So let me just give you some feedback from what I've seen so that you can maybe avoid the mistakes that I've seen. Now, some of them have been great, but some of them, I can see some patterns that I just want to address. So let's talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and I'll share an example with you again in a second, but let's just talk about it in general. So first thing is, most people have done this. How many pictures am I looking for? Right? Yes. 10 pictures, no problem. They can be photos. They can be photos of photos. They can be clip art. You can draw pictures, whatever you want to do is fine. Now, each picture needs to have 2 sentences. So how many different imperfect verbs am I looking for? 20. Let me say that again. How many different imperfect verbs are we looking for? 20, 20, 20. Some of you are still giving me 10. So that's already, you're losing 20 points off the grade because you need to give me 20. All right, now they need to be different. I got some repeats. Some of you used comia or Korea or something over and over again. Era. I'm only counting it one time. So make sure they're different. I used to draw. I used to practice. I used to play. I used to go. You got to think of different things. I used to ride. I used to, all right? Now, the biggest grammatical problem that I'm seeing, okay, I need you to listen, focus. If you Google Translate, look, we're just going to do it here. Watch. Here's what you get, and this is not what I want. I'm not going to give you credit for this. All right, watch. Okay, here's the problem with Google Translate. Okay, watch. Let's see, where are you? Google Translate. All right, so the problem is, if I put in, let's see, is this English? No, I need, let's try this again. English to Spanish. All right, so I used to talk. Sorry, I did it wrong. All right, you get this expression, right? Solía. Have we practiced with that ever? No. Have you ever heard me say that? No. Do I want you to say that in your speaking thing today? No. All right, so that is the problem with Google Translate. All right, they do not help you translate things correctly, and that will not get you any points. That's why I continually say, here's what you need to do, okay? You need to go to Google. If you don't know the word for draw, you're going to look up the word for draw. They're going to tell you it's dibujar, and then you're going to put that in the imperfect. And I know, because I've been studying this for the last 2 or 3 weeks, that an AR verb should end with what? Aba. So I'm going to write dibujaba. Now, if I put in an ER verb, let's say I'm doing the word run, and I don't know the word run. I put in run, it tells me correr. I drop the ER, I put on what ending? What are my last 2 letters? Ia. So I have corría. All right, I do not want to see that word solía correr. I was just asking my neighbor, my teacher friend next door, because he's Bolivian, and I was like, what is this solía thing that Google says? And he said, it does exist. It's very uncommon. And usually like very like elite, prim and proper people, you might hear them say that. Okay, again, that's not what I'm teaching you. That's not what I want you to learn. And it doesn't show me that you understand the imperfect if you just put solía for everything. So right now, I am telling you, do not use the word solía. You got it? Okay, if you need to look up a word, get the verb and put aba or ia on it. All right, so that should clear up a bunch of problems. Now, if you already turned it in, and I said that, that's what I need. So fix it. I probably gave you 20 out of 60 points. That's like a, I don't know, 20 or 30%. You don't want that. So go back and fix your verbs. If you still have questions, you'll have to let me know. Otherwise, keep it simple. Okay? I used to run as a sentence. You don't need to look up all these other things. I want simple, 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 simple sentences, simple. Okay? All right. So, like I said, if you haven't turned it in, obviously you're working on it. It is due tonight at midnight. Okay, I'm doing that just because then I just want you to have a little break this weekend where you don't have to work on it. If you need to resubmit it, I want us to focus on the speaking first, but then of course you can use the rest of your time this period to work on that. Also, if you happen to be looking at your current lesson, I threw some new vocab on there that we will start next week. It is not homework, but I put it on there in case you want to get ahead. It's there for you. And oh, in-person people, I made some copies, so you guys can grab that. If you want a copy of it on Wednesday and you're coming in, you can grab it. I did make some hard copies, so if you would rather have a hard copy, don't worry about it. Like I said, I just threw it on there if you were bored and wanted something to work on. All right, I will give you some class time on Wednesday when I'm finishing up these speaking quizzes, so you'll still have time to do it then. But it is there if you want it. And again, if you're coming in on Wednesday, I'll have a hard copy for you. So that's kind of what we're doing today. We're going to do some speaking. I'll go back to that in a minute. Now I think I've re-explained the photo album project, and the vocab is optional if you would like to do that. Totally up to you. Would anybody like to see my photo album example one last time? Is that necessary? Does anybody need to see it? Okay, I got a couple hands there. So let me go ahead and show you that, and then we're going to move on to the speaking. I think I've got one right here. Perfect. All right, looks like there's one. Okay, so again, 10 photos. Okay, there's little Gus. Okay, see his cute little photos. Again, they can be photos of photos. They can be drawings. You can use clip art. I've had some cute ones with clip art too. And then I'm looking for 20 different verbs. Right, I'll read you a couple of his, just so you can see the idea. Veía a mi abuela, used to see grandma. Me gustaban gatos, I liked cats. Comía en su casa, I used to eat at her house. Visitaba a mi abuela. Nadaba en la piscina, participaba en el equipo. Right, so again, abas and ias. Construía, iba, corría, montaba en bicicleta. Jugaba, vivía. So a bunch of imperfect verbs. 10 pictures, put it together. All right, anything else I can clear up about the project, about the album de fotos? Okay, like I said, if you did turn it in, I think I've graded all that I've gotten. So go back and look at my feedback. And if you're not happy with your score, absolutely turn it back in. Okay, fix it up, turn it back in. All right, let's talk about this speaking quiz. So you have your 5 questions. They are listed for you if you want to look at them. They're under your current lesson. I have them up. I guess I can screen share them real quick. And basically the idea is it's going to be you and me, and I'm going to ask you those 5 questions. I am listening for, do you understand the question? Can you give me an answer? How's your risk taking? Did you use some new verbs or new words or harder words or multiple words, or did you just give me the basic? And I will kind of shuffle up the questions a little bit. So if you hear que comías, you have to know what that means. What did you eat? If you hear como eras, you need to be able to recognize what were you like. A donde ibas, where did you used to go? So that is a little part of this, is being able to hear the question and understand it. Does that all make sense? Okay, so why don't I give you a minute? Make sure you go ahead and look at your answers. I'm going to go ahead, if you're online, I'll give you a quick partner to practice with one last time. If you're in here, girls, you guys can just do a little grupo de tres. And then I'll start. I'm going to throw everybody in a breakout room, and I'll just kind of make the rounds. If you really, really want to go first, you can let me know, and I'll try and hit you first. Otherwise, you're just going to stay in your breakout room. You're going to practice. You can work on your photo album. You can work on your vocab. And I'll try to get through as many today as possible. I'll get through most of them. I may not get through all of them, but I should get through most of them. If I don't get to you today, obviously you need to plan to go on Wednesday. So we'll just have to drag it out a little bit.
So we can't have it over.
No, you're supposed to know your answers. Yeah, memorize. Your answers are supposed to be memorized. Okay. Will you have the questions? No, I was just going to say the questions. Yeah, I can repeat the questions if you have a problem or something like that. I'm just going to ask you the question. Yeah. Okay, so let me get you a little partner here. Oh, there's my breakout room button. Weird. Okay. So I'm going to do these groups of 2 or 3. So you have a couple people to talk with. Okay, so once you get to your room, you're going to say hi. You're going to turn on your camera. You're going to unmute yourself. You can go ahead and pull up your questions. If you need your answers, you can pull those up too. And let's get about 5 minutes of practice, and then I'll call you back and we'll start these. Anybody need clarification on that? We good? All right, go ahead and get to your room, get in a little practice. All right, so ladies, I'll leave these up for you. And then if you'll just do a little ask around in a circle, like maybe Maggie asked, and then you two answer, and then Nora, and then just, does that work? Okay, let me make sure these guys are on. Hey, Charles. I was just putting them in breakout rooms to practice speaking. I did talk about the photo album. Did you have any questions on your photo album?
No.
Okay. Well, let me just throw you in a breakout room here, and you can practice. Let me put you in breakout room 5. All right. Head there, Charles. Okay, it's just now you girls. All right.